Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here to give you that shortcut to expertise. We tailor these analyses of key source materials so you can get informed fast. Today, we're doing a deep dive focusing on, well, what's often a critical failure point in the life of any big building project. That moment when the construction crews leave and the people who actually run the building take over. Our source for this is excerpts from COBie Construction Operations Building Information Exchange. Now that title, it's quite a mouthful, but it really tells you a lot. So our mission today, break down that acronym COBie, C-O-B-I-E, understand why this specific exchange was, well, engineered to prevent what some call the great handover disaster. We really need to get why a standard exchange is so crucial if you're managing a building for, decades.
Right. And that handover point you mentioned, that's often where, frankly, the value just leaks out of an investment. This is so important for you listening. Think about it. Construction teams, they're optimizing for project completion, right? Schedule, budget. They generate masses of really vital, specific knowledge, serial numbers, maintenance guides, warranties, all that stuff. But once the construction wraps up, that knowledge, it's only valuable if the operations team can actually use it immediately. COBie is essentially the framework designed to make sure that happens smoothly.
Okay, let's unpack the name itself. Construction Operations Building Information Exchange. If COBie exists to solve a problem, then the first two words seem to define that problem. Construction versus operations. They sound like different worlds.
Oh, they absolutely are. Fundamentally different priorities, different mindsets. Construction is, you could say, the sprint. It's about assembling things often quickly. Data is structured around buying things, installing them, getting paid.
Right. Get it built.
Exactly. But operations, that's the marathon. It can last 40, 50, maybe even 100 years. And the focus there shifts completely. It's all about maintenance, planning replacements, energy use, keeping up with the regulations. Totally different game.
And this clash happens right at that handover boundary. We've all heard the stories, maybe seen it, the nightmare scenario. The general contractor drops off a pallet, literally, of thick 3-ring binders. I remember one project, the ops team had to bring in consultants for like 6 months just to figure out what was in the building because the paper trail was useless.
Exactly.
So why is that specific bottleneck, the box of binders, so bad it needs a formal exchange framework like COBie?
Because that box of binders, it represents data organized for the builder, not the operator. That's the key. Sure, the binders might list every pump installed, but do they easily link that pump to its exact location or its maintenance schedule? Or the warranty is up? In a way you can actually search and use. Usually not. The absolute core need for the exchange part is standardization. Exchange in COBie isn't just, handing stuff over. It mandates a systematic predefined delivery of necessary information. It forces a common language, making sure critical data points like, say, the specific make of an air handler or the filter it needs are always in the same place, same format. Doesn't matter who built it or what fancy software they used during design.
Okay. So that shift from just piles of paper, unstructured data to structured information, that feels like the main benefit here. Let's focus on that middle part, building information exchange. Why information specifically? Not just data or documents. What does that tell us about what's being transferred?
It strongly suggests machine readability and automation potential. See, data is just raw facts, right? A serial number, a room number, a date. Information is that data organized, given context, made useful for making decisions. Hand over a PDF scan of a manual, that's data on a page. You still have to read it, find what you need. Hand over a COBie file, often it's just a structured spreadsheet that's information ready to be sucked straight into facility management software. No retyping.
That's the critical technical point, isn't it? Can you sort of paint a picture? What does that structured format actually look like for someone receiving it?
Yeah, so structurally, COBie is basically a standard data schema. It's non-proprietary, which is important. Often, like I said, it's delivered as a spreadsheet file. But it has multiple tabs, very specific tabs. Each tab handles a certain kind of information needed for operations. So there's a tab for all the spaces in the building.
Like rooms, areas?
Exactly. Then another for assets, the actual equipment, pumps, fans, chillers, you name it. Maybe a tab for components or spare parts. And crucially, tabs for things like warranties and maintenance schedules. It's this structure that makes it powerful. It takes the sometimes chaotic output of construction and organizes it into these neat, interoperable chunks.
Right, okay. Now, this naturally leads to something I know our listeners are familiar with. The big one, BIM, Building Information Modeling. How does COBie fit with BIM? Is COBie just BIM data? Or something else?
That's a really important connection to make. Good question. Think of BIM as the big comprehensive digital model, rich with geometry, full of data, built during design and construction. It holds everything.
The whole digital twin, essentially.
Sort of, yeah, the as-built digital representation. Now, COBie is not the model itself. COBie is the export specification. It defines how to pull out a specific operational subset of data from the BIM model.
Ah, okay, so it's like a filter.
Precisely. COBie essentially extracts, say, the 20% of the data in the massive BIM model that the facility manager actually needs day to day, things like asset tags, maintenance needs, warranty info, and it leaves behind the other 80% stuff critical for architects or engineers during design, like detailed rebar schedules, but not needed for operations.
I see.
It's the translation layer, really, making sure the operations team gets clean, usable information, not just overwhelming data noise.
That sounds incredibly practical. But it also brings up a potential challenge, doesn't it? If you're enforcing standardization like this. Well, isn't there a risk of forcing square pegs into round holes? Every project, every building system, every client has unique aspects. Does trying to standardize everything hinder the flexibility needed for complex jobs?
That's a fair point, and it definitely highlights the implementation challenge sometimes. But COBie provides the standardized structure, the template. It says, for instance, you must have a column for asset name and another for warranty start date. It doesn't dictate the exact content that goes in there for every single unique situation.
Oh, okay.
So it's a framework designed to capture the necessary info consistently. You can still record bespoke details, but you do it within that predictable structure. The standard is rigorous, yes, but it's also been designed to be pragmatic enough to work globally on different kinds of projects.
Let's shift gears then and focus entirely on the end user. The facility management teams, the FM folks, they're the ones who supposedly benefit most. Can you give us some really concrete examples? What can they do on day one of running the building with a good COBie handover that they just couldn't do with that dusty box of binders?
Oh, the difference is night and day. It's mostly about immediate filtering and being proactive instead of reactive. Imagine the facility manager gets an alert. There's a recall on a specific type of VFE, variable frequency drive.
Well, that happens all the time.
Right. With the binders, someone's got to physically dig through maybe hundreds of documents, trying to cross-reference supplier names, model numbers, serial numbers. It could take days, weeks even.
Yeah, I can picture that. A lot of wasted time.
Absolutely. With COBie data loaded into their computerized maintenance management system, their CMMS, they just run a quick query. Show me all VFDs from manufacturer X. Boom. Instant list, locations, serial numbers, maintenance history right there.
Wow.
They can schedule the checks or replacements immediately. That's huge.
That speed, yeah, that translates directly into cost savings, avoiding downtime. What about longer-term benefits? Financial, strategic?
Strategically, COBie data becomes the backbone for lifecycle management. It's indispensable. Facility managers can instantly pull up preventative maintenance schedules for everything, optimize their staff resources, actually extend the life of expensive equipment.
Proactive maintenance, not just fixing things when they break.
Exactly. And managing warranties becomes, well, manageable. You can run a report. Show me all assets whose warranty expires in the next 90 days. Think about how much money is saved by not paying for a repair that should have been covered.
That alone must be significant on a large facility.
It really is. And there's another layer emerging now, too, especially with sustainability and compliance. Having that structured data, knowing the exact materials, the manufacturers, the energy ratings of equipment, all linked together, that's becoming foundational for carbon tracking, ESG reporting, auditing. It links the building's operational performance right back to how it was designed and built.
So bringing it back to where we started, the whole idea is that without this standardized exchange, this COBie framework, all the value, the precision, the investment poured into the construction phase, it just sort of evaporates because the information isn't usable during operations.
Precisely. It risks being wasted. Construction is just the beginning, the starting gun. The real cost, the real opportunity, the bulk of the building's life is in operations. When that critical handover is messy, unstructured, the ops team ends up playing catch-up. Trial and error maintenance, expensive surveys to rediscover information, manually re-entering data.
Stuff that should have been there from the start.
Exactly. COBie is designed to make them effective from hour one.
Okay, so to wrap up this deep dive, we've established COBie is really defined by its mission right there in the name. It's about facilitating that essential transfer of usable, structured, machine-readable building information.
Yeah.
Moving it from the construction world to the operations world for a built asset. It's the technical handshake, the bridge ensuring long-term value.
It is. And that leaves us with a pretty significant question for you, the listener, to think about. Consider this. Operations is the longest phase of a building's life, often the most expensive too, over decades. So just try to imagine how much time, energy, and frankly, money is wasted globally every single year when this critical construction operations building information exchange doesn't happen properly, when it fails, or is just completely unstructured. Understanding the need for this standard really highlights the sheer scale of the data challenge the entire built environment is still grappling with.